talking with us just as her experience working as an admissions officer, and basically letting us know at her point of view and through the admissions department, what is it like when the admissions advisors are actually reading these college applications, and what certain ones stand out in the minds of them when they're choosing people to actually admit into school. What goes into that application that they think, oh, this is a unique one, and I want to admit that student in. So right now, I am now going to find Miss Anna Rafferty, and we are now going to put her on, and you'll be able to see and talk with her. So right now, I'm going to turn over the microphone literally from me to Miss Anna Rafferty. Hello, Ms. Rafferty.
Hello.
Hi. We are now here with Anna Rafferty representing UC Berkeley. So thank you for coming with us today.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure. Thank you so much for inviting me to be part of this very informational webinar. I've been asked to, I think, share a little bit about my own perspective as an undergraduate admissions officer and what it is that we will look at as students apply to our institution. And certainly what I say about our process at the Berkeley campus can probably carry over to a number of other schools that are also very competitive. Just to give you a little background, I've been doing college admissions for many years. I was at a school, a liberal arts college, before coming to the Berkeley campus for many years. That was also very selective. And then I've been with the Berkeley campus for 18 years. So I've had some experience in the competitive college admissions situation or circumstance. And so I'm hoping to share a little bit of insight into that. It is very important that students, as they apply to these competitive institutions, that understand that what the institution is really trying to get at is who they are as individuals, academically, as well as in terms of leadership, motivation, other kinds of aspects of their character that they've been able to develop, and certainly, as was mentioned before, the various activities that they might have had access to in their high school. So in this institution's curriculum, I noticed there's a lot of opportunity to apply that kind of knowledge. And so anything that you can do to help your own development as an individual and as a student will certainly help you stand out in a competitive pool. Some of you may know that the UC Berkeley campus is one of the more competitive UC campuses in the system. We did have over 70,000 students applied to our institution from high school. We admitted a little more than 13,000 for an admission rate of about 17%. So it was a very competitive year this year. So how do students stand out? One of the very important aspects of the UC application is the personal statement. There's also an opportunity to list the particular activities you've been involved in. In particular, could be activities like the summer programs that your school offers. It can also be clubs and organizations within the school. It could be opportunities to expand yourself through travel. It could be community service. It could even be paid employment if you happen to have a part-time job while you're going to school. All of those things are can be put on a list. We also will ask you to the degree of motivation and time that you've spent in these different activities, hours per week, approximately how many months per year, and how long you've been doing it. So consistency is always a plus. So if you enjoy something, try to do it over time so that you can achieve a certain level of achievement and also be able to say, this is what I've learned from that particular activity. In addition, there is a personal statement, as was mentioned. Some schools call it an essay. We prefer to call it a personal statement because that is indeed what we're trying to achieve in offering an opportunity for you to write about yourself, about your achievements, about your passions, about the opportunity to expand yourself while you've been in high school, and how all of that has kind of come into fruition in terms of who you are as an individual. So that 1,000-word personal statement can be very important. But what I want to make sure you understand is that a personal statement by itself or a college essay by itself is not the decision maker. It is a partnership in what you're able to tell us in this written document in conjunction with your academic achievement. So certainly it is important that you work hard in school, that you are motivated, that you do show passion through your achievement in your grades, in the challenge of the curriculum that you've chosen to take, so forth and so on. But this aspect of what it is that you are as an individual can certainly come into a more clear view through this written statement that we help you write about. In the University of California, it is 1,000 words that you're sharing, but in the response of 2 different prompts. The first prompt basically asks about how you've been able to take advantage of the particular environment that you're from, whether you're from a school like the one we are talking about today, or another school. So it's really important that you help us understand that circumstance or that environment. And it's posed in a way of saying, the world that you come from. And it can also include other aspects of your community. It can be other aspects of your family. The idea, of course, is to get a little bit more context in terms of the achievement that you show in your academic record, and then certainly that list of activities that I mentioned. The second prompt that you're also responding to talks about something that you're proud of. And that can be very different for every student. So again, if you are someone who has been able to expand your knowledge and your achievement in math or science, certainly that may be something that you may want to write about. But it could be that you're someone who has also traveled extensively, or someone who has been able to apply some of the things that you've learned outside of the classroom. So it can vary. There is no formula, because every student is different and you are unique. Sometimes students will ask me, what is it about me? I mean, I'm no different than anyone else. I am not someone who stands out. Well, I think that I disagree with you. I think every student has something about their character, about their achievement that they can highlight. And that is really the issue. So many times, although some of the schools that have been mentioned earlier do have the opportunity for you to meet with an admissions person, even have a college interview, and that's a fantastic opportunity. Some of the schools, like the University of California, because of the number of applicants we see, are not able to include an interview in that process of review. So what we're looking for is a student that can somehow translate that achievement, that leadership, that passion onto this online application. So as you can imagine, some of that is pretty much inputting data, your courses, your grades, your AP or your IB scores, whatever the case may be. Your activities then become a little more unique because that's what you've chosen to do over time. And then ultimately the personal statement can really set you apart. And that's why so many students stress out about the personal statement, because they know it's important. But I would venture to say that if you are thoughtful, if you give yourself time, if you have people review it and give you feedback, remember this is your writing, this is your activity, this is your self that you're putting here on this online application. But you certainly can use feedback to give yourself some ideas. I know when my daughter was applying to college, she wrote the first draft of her personal statement, and I reviewed it for her, and I found that she had missed out on a lot of opportunities that she could have explained or expounded on in terms of her activities and her leadership. And so we talked about it. So again, time. The UC application opens now on August 1st, but you cannot submit it until November. The window of time is November 1st to the 30th in your senior year. So for those of you that are entering into that time of your academic career, know that you can begin completing the UC personal application on August 1st. So you have plenty of time to just go in, begin that process. I use the analogy of a senior prom or any important event in your life, that you approach with care, you approach with planning. You know, if you're going to your senior prom, it's going to be something that you're going to go and understand what you're going to wear, how you're going to look, how your hair is going to look, how you are going to approach you, even to the bottom of your shoes, what kind of shoes you're going to be wearing. All that takes time and careful consideration. So your college application is like the prom of your education. So I want you to take that away in terms of the time and commitment and care that you give. So when you submit those applications, whether it's to the University of California or to other private institutions, I want you to be able to stand back and say, this is the best work I can submit. No matter whether it's inputting your information, whether it's listing your activities, and that all-important college essay or personal statement from the University of California, I want you to be able to say, this is the best I can approach this application, and the information that I've been sharing or have shared is really from my heart and from my passions and from the leadership that I've been able to develop through time. So all of those things are part of what I want you to begin to think about, even if you're in middle school now, as you continue your activities, as you continue your interests and your passions, continue to do and develop that, so that by the time you're a senior and you're applying to college, you're truly proud of some of the achievements that you've been able to accomplish. So again, it is not a formula. You'll find that there are websites that have examples of personal statements that might have been successful, but that's not you. You are an individual unique unto yourself. So that's what I want you to do in developing your own unique style and your own particular interests and passions.
Thank you, Ms. Rafferty.
Certainly.
Glad we're able to have you come on and be able to talk with everybody about the college application process.
You're welcome. Thank you for inviting me.
You're definitely welcome.